The young state was growing up. The post-war years had been good to Oklahoma. The population was growing, and so was business. Businesses and professionals in the state understood the value of organizing themselves into associations so they could share ideas, learn from each other, and promote their industry's interests. So by 1963, it was only logical that the people who ran those organizations, association managers, realized that they too could benefit from each other's experience.
We got together at wherever it was and decided that what we ought to do is to do the American thing, you know, form an organization for organizations. Now, isn't that something? I think it is.
Somebody suggested that George and I would be a great help. He just come off as being lieutenant governor and was out of office, and I had been working with George and I on another project to bring an international organization to Oklahoma City. And I knew him, and they said, well, would you contact him? So I did, and George and I tells the story that I came up and I said, George, or called him, said, let's have lunch.
And I said, free lunch, you know, for a politician, that's always a good deal. I accepted it 50 years ago. I went to a luncheon, and there were a bunch of people, Blackstock, Rollins, Retha Dugan, Charlie Jones, and sitting around, and they said, we're thinking about organizing an association of society executives. And I said, what am I doing here? And they said, well, we want you to be involved. I was the executive director of the International Junior Chamber of Commerce convention that was going to be held here in Oklahoma City. And they said, that makes you an association executive. And I said, okay, I'd be happy to join you. And the first thing I knew, then I was elected president. So what an honor to be the first president 50 years ago of OSAE.
50 years later, the Oklahoma Society of Association Executives is a vibrant, thriving organization that enhances the professional skills of its members and enriches their lives in ways that even its founders could never have imagined.
But what I really remember is all these years later, how those people that I interacted with in the 80s are still my dear close friends today.
The Oklahoma Society of Association Executives has become the premier resource for association management professionals, a place to learn and grow, and a network of professional peers who unselfishly share their experience and advice.
OSAE is one of those organizations that no matter what I did, no matter where I was financially, fiscally, or in my career, that I could stand on my colleagues' shoulders and stand next to them and be very comfortable that they would help me through the tough times, but also it would be very rewarding to me to be able to share my excitement and things that happen in my career.
And I felt like that the future of Oklahoma Society of Association Executives was in dealing with problems we couldn't talk with anybody else about. I mean, certainly not our board members.
What OSAE does is it's a network of professionals that we were all CEOs. We might have represented trade associations, member associations, labor organizations, but we had one thing in common. We all had volunteer boards of directors. We all had staff, and we needed to network with each other and keep it confidential.
Over the years, OSAE has strengthened the professionalism of the association community in Oklahoma. And through that work, relationships were formed that proved invaluable for members, sometimes in very unexpected ways, such as during the 1995 Murrah Building bombing tragedy in Oklahoma City.
When we needed something, I turned to the association community. I was a coordinator with the FEMA teams, and when we needed housing and we needed more help with setting up housing for these teams, we called upon the Hotel Association. When we needed help with the rescue animals because their feet were being cut and they needed assistance with helping with these animals, we called the Veterinary Association. And so there's an invaluable number of resources available through the association community, and that really did make a huge difference in that relief effort.
OSAE's first 50 years have been rich in service, in learning, and in friendship. Oklahoma's associations are better and provide greater service to their members as a result. But 50 years is just a beginning. And tomorrow's association managers will still look to the Oklahoma Society of Association Executives to help them hone their skills, grow professionally, and serve their members.
And the camaraderie and the companionship and just the networking that you have with the association execs is, bar none, the best thing OSAE can possibly provide to this profession.
That's the most enriching part of the organization is just the camaraderie of the group.
I really enjoyed being president of OSAE. I looked forward to the meetings. I'm a people person, so every month was something I really genuinely look forward to.
This is the best way to get the feeling of what the association work is all about.
You're just around a lot of fun people. The summer conventions, the summer meetings were always in a fun place to get away and enjoy the camaraderie and the sharing of information. So it's just always been a kind of a fun thing to do.
An organization like OSAE can help train the executives in how to provide that kind of information and that kind of effort for their association members.
That's the best opportunity to have to network with your peers, is at these OSAE functions.
It's always been a great place to build those relationships and then be able to call on those individuals when you need or are looking for a solution.
ASAE, OSAE were just my foundation for my success.
It seems to me that with our board of directors and those that are leading us, that they are looking forward to those things that we're going to need to be successful and to grow.
Association work as a whole is great because you can be the voice for your group.
I think we shouldn't forget the aspect of camaraderie and having fun.
OSAE required certain elements of learning about association management that I probably wouldn't have cared about or even known about otherwise.
And so the camaraderie and the people of OSAE became my trainers and my faculty. When we were formed, it was formed for various reasons, but I think for its collective wisdom, to be able to allow association execs to learn from each other, the best practices, those kind of things. And I think it's as relevant today as it ever has been.
There have been so many good memories with OSAE. It's been my favorite group to just kind of hang with for the past 13 years that I've been in associations.
I don't see anything but it continuing to provide the kind of services that its members need.
We honor those people who came before us by trying to make our association better.
It's an enlargement of life itself.
I'm very proud of being involved and seeing this thing grow to the extent that it has. It's been a great experience, and I'm very proud of that.
I think it's great because they help train association executives to do a better job for their organization in Oklahoma.